What I Lost, the opening song from the Cowboy Junkies from their 2023 album, Such Ferocious Beauty. Tonight's Album Listen Challenge Special Edition, Best of 23. Hello, Music Multiverse listeners. Tonight, the Grateful Dude and my wife, Sue Kuligowski, now known as Susie Q, will take on the Canadian alternative folk rock Dark Hypnotics, courtesy of the vocals of Margot Timmins. The guitar, sitar, mandolin, violin, and other string arrangements of her brother Michael Timmins, who is also the chief songwriter, and Peter Timmins drums, and bassist Alan Anton, who supply the atmospheric rhythms responsible for keeping us, well, grounded and anchored while grappling and twisting in the mire of this endearing record. Before we get into tonight's special edition, if you're new to the channel, welcome. We look forward to discussing more albums like this on Beyond the Radio and all our shows. So give us your comments and hit the like button. This Album Listen Challenge comes directly from me to the panelists tonight. Tonight is my number 4 or number 8 album of the year. It says 4, but I know it's number 8. Tonight's album mate, number 8 for me. So we're here with my thoughts before we get into it. They had me the minute I saw the title. You kind of love and expect that audio inkling. They're going to give you something dense in songwriting, territory of an Uber experience, soft augmentation, alternate blues band wrapped in the treasured, hypnotic, yet possessive vocals that are troubled, tempted, and a playful like Angel as Margot Timmins. The Cowboy Junkies have a band that knows how to bend sound, elaborate ambient background, tip the scale of melody and melancholy. Timmins is a powerhouse in lo-fi delivery that's surprisingly beguiling. Sneaks up on you from all corners of your ears and mind, which is grand design of Michael Timmins, the chief songwriter. I'm still reeling over the songs What I Lost, which we will hear. Hell is Real. And despite the pause that's odd on the final track, which is probably purposeful, yet I don't understand why, this is a nearly flawless recording. It's intimate in all aspects of tone and arrangement. Call it the most sophisticated adult contemporary on the planet, rooted in a swagger that's uniquely only to this band, and this band alone. Call it an album that's going to linger in our ears and challenge us to that question, what is the best Cowboy Junkies album? Could this very well be it? Such Ferocious Beauty. Tonight, the format will slightly be different. First is album production 1 to 5. Album flow will be 1 to 5. Songwriting 1 to 5. Musicianship 1 to 5. Total number of songs that you really liked. And again, finally, ending it on your overall rating 1 to 5. I'll thank my panelists for joining this challenge tonight. It's not easy when someone tells you what you're going to listen to. As we get closer to year's end, we're going to have more of these. So I'm going to start off tonight and let Susie Q be the starter. Well, the ladies first, I guess, as always.
Well, hello there. So I was only able to listen to this album, let's say 2.5 times. And I tried to take it out on a walk with me. I've been walking the same route for a decade and there's nobody ever out. And when I chose to walk around and listen to the songs, it was nonstop noise. So I had a lot of stops and starts and re-listens, but despite that, which says a lot for the album, it kept me interested and I made sure to listen to it all. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. Going into the album, I knew it was about loss and grief and dementia and COVID times, and so that's all really pretty heavy stuff. And then, of course, you try to relate to an album. My grandma passed with Alzheimer's, so I know exactly what that feels like, going through that and watching someone that you love kind of slowly slipping away, and all the emotions that go through it, and the relationships that suffer and change because of it, and not just between you and the person, but you and family and how you all deal with that. So very relatable to me from that perspective. And then, of course, you bring in their artistry and songwriting and the musicianship, and they kind of bring all of those emotions and feelings and the reality of loss to life, and then compounded by COVID and the political and the social, everything that was going on at the time. I found it to be a very heavy album. To make a long story short, uh, a heavy album. It was a nice listen. It was clever. Um, you can literally feel their sadness, the torment, the doubt, the questions. Um, I think I did try to read a review of it, and someone said something about they were the answer to everything that was going on during that time. But I just found a lot more questions and answers, and there was not a lot of hope to be found on this album, at least from my perspective. Um, so that being said, like Mark was saying, What I Lost was an incredible song. It starts out, with some serious guitar and her vocals. And it just kind of leads you through the ride that is dementia and their personal ride, and their loss, and basically what that does to you and how it impacts your family. I also really like Shadows too. Um, I think that one was kind of supposed to be a look through what it feels like to be going through that the from their father's point of view, I guess in this case, and just trying to connect to that and what he was going through. Um, am I okay to be going through the songs like this right now, Mark, or no?
Yeah, I'm first of all, Shadows is one of the songs we'll be able to play, so
Yeah.
I'll insert that at that moment. Sure.
Okay.
Ahead.
And also I think, I don't know if you mentioned or not, but it was inspired by D.H. Lawrence's poem Shadows as well. So I
I
have yet
did
to
not mention.
really dive into that, but I kind of get the connection there. Knives I really liked. It has a different, it starts out a little bit differently, kind of funkier, and uh, it just, I think it brings in a lot of what I was talking about, like um, hopes and fears, but again, really a lot more fears and uncertainty than hopes. Hard to build, easy to break was another great one. Fragility of life, and I think that one was kind of, it had a lot of social themes to it too. I really liked it. Mike Tyson, Here It Comes. Uh, that one, the first time I listened to it, it was kind of like eh. But the third time, the more you listen to it, it's really a really rich, full song. Um, so that's definitely one of my favorites. Um, you mentioned Hell is Real. Uh, you know, I want to say I was in the middle of my walk at that time, and like you said, well, with that one, so there's two pauses in it, and I think that's the one with the chirping.
Yes.
So I was walking, and that's what I'm hearing, and I'm like, what's happening? And I'm holding the phone up to my ear, and I'm like, is this nature? Is this real? And it was a song. So that was something different. But anyway, it gets real deep after that.
Jesus is coming, ready or not. Hell is real, hell is hot.
So
Yeah.
it's quite a
Hell
contrast.
is real. Hell is hot.
Yeah,
Jesus is coming, ready or not.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then Blue Skies was the last one that really stood out to me. it was kind of just a beautiful way to end it for me. I think that was the last one on my walk. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was heavy, it was dark, it was deep. It was sad because you know that they are working out a lot of their feelings through the music, and not just through the lyrics, but the guitar and so you kind of have that in your mind as you're listening to it. But I thought it was beautifully done, and yeah.
So I'll give you the breakdown so you can give us your 1 to 5 real quick.
Mhm.
Then album production.
Well, I gave it a 5.
Okay. Album flow.
I'm really bad on that one. I'm giving it a 5 just because I don't know how to criticize it. I
Okay.
wouldn't know, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Songwriting.
Definitely a 5. That was, yeah,
Musicianship.
and another 5.
Yeah. Total number of songs that you liked out of the, was it 10, I think?
It was 10, yeah. I did like 10 out of 10. Couldn't
Wow.
really find fault with any of them.
Wow, grand slam.
Yeah, I know. It
Overall
feels,
rating obviously gets to be a 5. So that's
I don't really like doing that, but like I said, I couldn't find anything to really find a lot of fault with. So
That's my job.
there you go. I'm counting on you.
all right. Well, on that note, let's go to the Grateful Dude, who is obviously not a Cowboy Junkies aficionado, has not seen the band live.
I have not seen the live. This is the first time I've ever heard it. Okay, but so I'm not going to be critical, but I do want to say something. The good thing about this group of 6 is of us is that we all come from different musical backgrounds. We see musical different, and we hear music different. Unlike both of you, and I already know this, I don't try to take feelings out of songs. Never have. I listen to songs as a writing style and the music in my ear. I don't try to uh to find out that it was made because of something tragic. I just try to leave that out of the equation because it seems to affect my ability to honestly judge for myself an album. So I don't see things as dark or as light as Mark does, and so when he says an album is dark, I use the same word as moody or almost the word. When I think of dark, I think hypnotic.
Mhm.
It's one of those kind of things where it draws me in. So let me talk about the record. What I Lost by far is the best album, the best song in the album. No question. I had to listen to it. In fact, I was listening to it when I was trying to download it to you again, because there's something about it that's magic. I don't know what it is. Her voice is, hypnotic, dark, um, throaty. She sings deep from her chest. Um, I really enjoy it. I really do. I think she's a little bit monotone, just a little bit. But the more I listen to it, the less I heard the mono. Sometimes when I hear an album for the first time, I make criticisms, and as I listen to it, those criticisms go away. So about the rest of the record, by and far, what I lost is just said. I love Hell Is Real. Matter of fact, I'll listen to it at least 3 more times. I really like that song. The words are excellently wrote. It's got a good backbone to it. Mike Tyson is good. Knives is good. Throw Match is good. I'm not sure if I like the order they put these songs in. I think that they should not have ended with Blue Skies. Should have ended with something more powerful.
Mhm.
But that's only my opinion.
Yeah, it's possible. I
Um,
mean, I can see that arrangement being different. I mean, Blue Skies for me is the song I don't remember the most of the record for
yeah,
some reason.
it's definitely it's a what I call soft spoken. It's
Yeah.
not carried a big stick like
Like the
Hell is
rest.
Real or Knives. It just doesn't. I would have ended the album with Hell is Real. Started off where it did and ended it with Hell is Real. But that's only me, and I'm not their producers or anybody's producer.
All right.
Just a critic.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed the album. I will listen to it again. Matter of fact, I will probably because there are some things that were interesting here that I'm still trying to process. But I'm going to listen to a couple of more Cowboy Junkie albums. I'm sure Mark can tell me which ones I should listen to. So, but yeah, I
You got plenty
believe
to
this
choose
is
from.
their ninth. I believe this is their 19th album.
It's got to be somewhere in there.
Yeah,
It's
I believe I
hard
read
for
it's
me to recall, but
19.
it's in the teens for sure, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and they've been playing close to 40 years, so they
Mhm.
got to know what they're doing by now.
Yeah, they certainly can do whatever they want to do as it is too. They hold no one holds them, liable. They'll do what they need to do. They're self,
Well,
they're
and
not.
that's how it should be. Nobody,
Yeah, I think so.
a band needs to have their own design, their own future, and play the music they want to play, not what some record company or producers tell them they have to play.
Yeah.
Is that at that point? That's when the band started going downhill. Okay, Mark, why
Usually.
don't you give me the rundown?
Sure.
Give you my
So
my
album
numbers.
production for you.
4.
Obviously the flow you got a problem with. So where's that lie on there?
3.
The songwriting.
5. No question.
Yeah. Musicianship.
It's funny, whether I like the songs or the words or not, the songs are done very skillfully.
Mhm.
Yes.
This is not something that somebody sat down and
In
had a
3
peanut
minutes.
butter sandwich and wrote.
Right.
Yeah.
This took a lot of
Songs are not written by
forethought.
Great White.
Okay, next, Mark.
Next is the musicianship.
That's a tough one. It's good, but I found stuff I didn't like in it. But personal, I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Mhm.
Almost
So
perfect.
when you say that, is it because this album has, string arrangement, but it also has ambient and so where's the problem? And there's some places where there's no rhythm, there's no drum, there's no, you know what I mean? So
Yeah. All the above.
okay.
I didn't find the musicianship cohesive. It whether it was them or the mixer or what,
Mhm.
but there was areas that just went a little weird on me.
Would
And
would it be
go
would
ahead.
it be safe to say that this would be in your ear something that you haven't heard quite nor ever before?
Possibly, but I'm not sure. I've heard a lot of
Okay.
different music, but
Right.
they are unique. I what I said, they obviously know what they're doing. Okay, they've been when you do it this long and you're still producing them, you're doing something right. Okay,
Right.
I can't give them a 5, so I gave them a
No,
4.5.
I just wondered when you said difficult, I wanted to know because I realized that this kind of record is not exactly in a wheelhouse that you've been in before, right? It still has the folk, it
Actually,
still has that, but
I don't know if that's right. I've listened to some alternative folk before, a bunch of different bands, and this is not too far out of my wheelhouse. This is right tilting on the left edge of my wheelhouse. Um, it's not like listening to something that Jeff Young would send me, something where my
yeah,
here blood would be dripping down. This was totally, totally. I can listen to this 27 times without a problem.
Watching the water rise, caught between the river and the rock face.
But it's just as I said, there were some things vocally. I thought there was a couple of little things that I didn't like the key, or I didn't like the tone at one point. I got a little super critical, and sometimes you know that I do, but
Yeah.
I can't give them a 5, but I gave them 4.5.
Oh, that's still a great rating.
Pretty close.
How many songs? How many songs out of 10? I know you got the 2 out of 10.
7.
It's just songs. It's just songs you like.
7.
7 out of 10.
Ones I didn't like very much was I didn't like Flood. I didn't like Michael Tyson. I didn't like Blue Sky.
Yep. Okay. And your overall rating?
4.5.
All right. I'll just give you my assessment of this as I've listened to this album now probably over 10 or 12 times. If you're a Cowboy Junkies fan and you've known since the very beginning, the one thing that you realize with this band is where they started, they are no longer there. Okay, they've added a lot more to their palette in the ambient, in the playful musicianship that oh my God, Michael Timmons he's a wizard now of sorts. I've heard everything from Middle Eastern stuff a few years past with all the Nomad series, and then here at this sparse electronica with ambient. It's almost like he was channeling Brian Eno in some instances. There's obviously, I think, because of this record having that aspect that Sue talked about, I think there were reasons for the jagged edges of it and the pauses maybe and the uneven. Not uneven. I'm trying to think like I don't know, like the tone didn't, because if you're in dementia, you're not all things are going to be. It's not going to be beautiful, wonderful, and melodic, and great. You're going to have breaks and things that are happening in the background. I will tell you this: I've heard this record on CD. I've heard it in my headset and through my computer, and the headset is the only way to experience this entire record, because there is stuff that will be lost on you that you will not hear in and out in the album. Because the ambient noise that you have around you, it just will not play. There are subtle things, although Sue did get the chirping, which is great. It means her bones sound quality is pretty damn good. Mine is not, so I would never even attempt that.
Well, it's because there was that pause, and I'm like, what is happening? I'm holding it up. I'm like, and I'm listening in real life, and I'm like, what just happened to my phone? But anyway.
Yeah, I was very struck by the record. I was expecting really good things. I do sort of agree with Jeff that there is a bit monotone in vocal. I want to say it's probable that it's intentional to some degree, but I would also say
I
that
think I agree with that. I think I agree with it was intentional.
I would say though that 40 years of this can wear, and Robert Plant doesn't sing the way he used to, and there you have to overcome and adapt and find a way. But I still, the delivery, the hypnotic delivery, and that, I don't know, that club blues feel, like it's just you and her, and Sue and I have been to a show or two of the shows. One was a little bit more intimate than another, where you kind of get that feeling. And I think in this record that comes out fairly well, but I do see where that would be an issue.
Mhm.
So For me, this is why it's on the list for me, and it's in the top 10 right now. Will it fall from there? I don't know. There are some records that have come in as of late that'll be interesting to see and listen to and see where they fall on this. But this is still, I believe, one of the best Cowboy Junkies albums ever made. I'm glad we got to do this, and I will do more of these. Our next one up will be St. Paul and the Broken Bones, Angels in Science Fiction. I believe that's going to be Alex Kaluzny and Deb Armitage Maloney for that one. We're on the web at www.beyondyourradio.com. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit the like. Give us some comments. It's kind of how I gauge how things are happening, right? Happy listening, everyone.
Bye.